Hello everybody, I'm streaming some art because I'm going to try doing commissions. Um, I I gotta fix this. This is not done. This is unfinished. I've been sitting on it for a while now. What is wrong with my phone? I'm trying to turn the volume down and it keeps turning the flashlight on. Ridiculous. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, I gotta fix this. This is a character for one of my video games. It's like a satyr. It's not like a tiefling or anything like that. I'm using earth clay for this particular model, and earth clay is a bitch. It just cracks. It does not like thin stuff. I made this rope to go around to hold the cape on. I mean, even the cape fell off. It just don't make any sense. This earth clay, first of all, it hates attaching to dry clay. Like, if you already dry something out, this is the majority of this is like done. I'm just adding armor and a belt thing, because you can see the belt's cracked. This is something I added about a month ago, and even that's cracking, but I could fill that with paint. It's not that big of a deal. Like, as long as it's structurally sound, nothing's like moving around when I poke it. If something moves around when I poke it, that's a problem. There's a bad crack back here, but the cape, I'm gonna put some more clay on. The cape is just gonna kind of fit into place. This is also a very heavy sculpture. This weighs like 2 pounds, a pound. This is really heavy. It's just a solid piece of rock. There's no filler inside this. This one over here, this one has filler in it. There's a lot of foil in here. As the weight of this does not feel very nice. Makes it feel kind of cheap. It's so light. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna fix that. I think I'm just going to put like a metal washer on the bottom of it, and like make a base for it with a metal washer, and this is on top of the base, because this is polymer clay and foil. This is extremely light. I do want to try to make it heavier. This is nowhere near done. This is just the beginning stage. Yo, Blindside's here. Whoa, that's lit. Yo. I just now set the phone up, guys. I'm sorry. I'm distracted. So I gotta fix this. This is a pain in the dick. Alright. So, part of it over here on this side, right here, this is actually staying on there pretty good. The paint will help keep it to stay on there as well. It's like the paint will act as like a protective glue around everything. When I get the painting part, it'll fill cracks too. Gross. Neck. Ow. Alright, so let me get my tools. This is my earth clay rag. Specifically use this for earth clay. I don't need a rag for the other stuff. Alright, I got some tools from Harbor Freight. I use this one a lot because it has a little stabby pokey bit. Here we go. So it's kind of like a knife, but it's not sharp. This is a dull edge thing. I use it to cut clay, poke, and get things in this place. This is to move stuff and attach stuff, but you can also use it as a spatula. You can use it to mold and shape stuff, but it has to be small. This does not work well for big stuff because it's too tiny. I use this for all sorts of stuff. This is there's a little ball on top of this. I actually use the back of it more. I use this to make clothing stuff, like ripples and capes. This can be used to make like dots and holes, and you can draw with it. But this is a pretty big nub, so it's gonna draw some pretty big lines. So here is some clay. My lighting situation is garbage. I only got one light. I need multiple lights. Let me see if I can get this in the frame without creating a bunch of shadow. There we go. So as you can see, pretty big lines on there. A lot bigger than a pen or a pencil. I didn't really think about my camera setup. I'm just kind of using one lamp and one camera. I really need two cameras to do this properly, because it's really difficult to show the camera something. And now it's like, because it's dark, and then I can't, this is not going to reach. So I need two light sources, because I can turn this one off just by hitting the little flap. Oh, I guess you can kind of see it better now. Anyways, so there's that. I got a ruler for cutting. I got a paintbrush. This is for applying water onto earth clay. Specifically because it's these aren't plastic bristles. At least they don't feel like plastic bristles. They're very dry. I don't know what this is made out of. It doesn't feel like a cheap nylon brush like you would get at the dollar store. I use that for polymer clay to apply, what's it called? Clay, the goopy clay stuff. Hang, it's down here. Shit. Yeah, I use the cheap nylon brushes to apply this liquid clay. That's what I was trying to say. And I use this for earth clay because the nylon brushes are too rough for earth clay. And here's a nylon brush to compare. It's soft, but it's a lot more rough, if that makes sense. I got another thing for like details. This is like a rubber tip thing. It's handy when you need it, but I don't use it very often. Let's see. That's just a painting brush. There we go. And then my main tool, this is the one I use the most besides my fingers, is the, I guess a large spatula for the size of clay I'm doing. You can see the dried clay on there from when I last used it. I use both sides. If I tend to use the smaller spatula side. If I can't get, like if this ain't working, I flip it around. I'll try this side. Because usually, if I need to use a spatula, this is not, the little one right here, this is too small. That's too small and it won't work. But this kind of works every now and then. But I'm doing large busts, so these I can use my fingers a lot on them, unless I'm adding like detail, like I'd say like these ropes, because those are pretty small. The horns I did with my hands. They did break, but I managed to repair them. Does this have audio? I really should have checked that, but yeah, we got audio. Now I can start with repairing this thing. I think I'm gonna do. So you guys are looking from this angle. So if I look from forward facing, I could work this way, and you're looking this way. So right there maybe. Pull this forward. So I got the light on the wrong side. So we're gonna have to change that. Well, actually, hang on. I might be able to cheat and just bring this down. Like that. Oh, now you can't see shit. I got a lighting issue. I'm just gonna pull this up and over and around. Why is everything on top of it? Why? It don't make any fucking sense. Ugh, I fucked up big time with this thing, man. I'm a fucking retard. Can I just clip it to my monitor? Yeah, I can. There we go. That didn't sound good. Alright, I think it's stable. It might droop down, but at least we can both see what we're doing. Or, well, whatever I'm supposed to say. I think I'm going to put some wet clay down first and smooth it out. And then put the wire back on. Because this shit is just so goddamn picky. I got my clay. I just gotta get it into like little tiny little bits. The fact that I'm also putting wet clay on top of a painted dry clay, that just makes it harder. Like, it makes it almost really, really difficult for that to fuse. It was only like one layer of paint, so I don't think it'd be that big of a deal. Basically, I'm like trying to make mud, so it's like extra sticky and goopy. Alright, put another piece down. And then can you even see what I'm working on? No, you can't. Damn, I need the camera over here. Now I think about it. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm doing this all wrong. Camera should be here. So that down. Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Alright, so I'm just taking my water. I don't want like too much water, but not too little water, just the right amount. Because if I get too much water, it's going to go down into these other dry areas. We don't want it to go down there. Just take another piece. And it's going to look messy and stupid and make no sense. But I can iron that out later. The only thing I'm doing right now is I want to attach the rope I made so I don't have to remake it. And then just be done with it. And then I'll clean up whatever's left. I can just clean it up. But for right now, I'm just focusing on getting it on to the character. I'm using a lot of water. I'm basically using this like glue almost. That's the plan. Make it goopy. I have to make it super goopy. Alright, I'm going to try to attach it now. This might fail miserably. So I believe this is the side. Pretty sure that's the angle. Maybe not. Does it line up? Ooh, I'm surprised that didn't break. Yeah, that has to be. There's no other way that would get on there. It's kind of like that. I gotta get some water in here. I'm gonna do is get this spatula wet, and I'm gonna try to smooth this out. Okay, now I need to move that over. Try to, so where's the camera? I need to find a spot right here. Right there, yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm getting the spatula wet, and I'm touching this piece of clay with the spatula. I'm gonna move it, just kind of shove it up underneath the rope. I gotta be I gotta be pretty gentle here. I can't be too hard because I just fused it to that side. The problem with earth clay is it'll look like you fixed it. You fused everything together. Looks fine, and then as soon as it dries, it starts cracking and falling apart. They say to wrap it in plastic and like controlled drying, but that never works for me. So I just kind of gave up, and what I do is I just make it, and then if it breaks, I just keep trying to re-glue it back together until it finally stays. I just keep doing repairs over and over and over until it fixes itself. Eventually it will. Like, I just have to keep repairing it. I do not really like earth clay that much. The only reason I like it is because it's heavy. It doesn't feel like a cheap piece of plastic. It is very heavy. Like, it is very heavy. It feels nice to pick it up. The problem is, this is not like something you can fire in the oven. This is not that kind of clay. So it's extremely brittle. I don't think you could ship this out, because this is just, this is Craft Smart earth clay, and what I'm using right now is Crayola air dry earth clay. So this is the stuff I'm using to repair it with, this white stuff that's on top, not the horns, but the extra repair coating on the armor, the belt, the rope, and the cape. That's Crayola. The rest of it is Craft Smart. I think the Crayola is better. But I'm not sure. I didn't do any tests. It's just I made a dragon out of the Craft Smart clay, and that completely fell apart. Actually, the dragon's head is right behind my monitor. I can use some dark paint to kind of hide, because this isn't going to be like a proper cylinder anymore, like a real rope. So I'm going to use some dark shading to try to hide that. I need to cut this in half. This is too big. So I got it wet like I said before, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to cut it. I'm going to get a little thingy. Now I can see where to put stuff when I'm doing stuff. So I'm just gonna cut that with my little cutting tool. With the spatula, it's not as easy to cut. I don't know why. Probably because it's bigger, I guess. I don't know. I need to move this out of the way. And scoop this up. I don't think this is gonna be a long stream. I'm just gonna repair this, and then do some more on the polymer clay model over there. Come on, bitch, get in there. Oh my god. Wet. I got it wet. I got super wet. I probably shouldn't have done that. It's so wet, I'm not even going to put it there anymore. I'm going to put it over here. Probably going to lose some of the detail because I'm getting extremely wet, like spackle level goo on here, and it's going to cover up a lot of the detail, unfortunately. But I might be able to paint it in and fix it with the paint. Yeah, you gotta have a lot of patience for earth clay. Earth clay is very unforgiving. It does not like being repaired. And you have to constantly get wet. It makes your fingers dry. Like this is already dry on my finger. It feels awful. It's really gross. Polymer clay just makes your hands oily. That's more bearable than this. This is pretty gross. But like I said, the level of detail you get, yeah, and you don't need a filler. You don't really want a filler because it's just gonna crack and fall apart. Because I've done that before. I used a foil filler on earth clay, and it just flaked off. The whole model was ruined. But you don't want that anyways, because you'll lose the weight. You want the weight, because that's the whole point of using this. You can make polymer clay heavy if you put something in it. Like, something heavy, like metal washers, I don't know. Something that's not going to explode, because you got to cook it, so you got to be careful what you put in it. So maybe some sort of like heavy wire, maybe. I'm not sure if you can do that or not, because copper is super conductive. It would be heavier, but it might burn the clay and catch on fire. I prefer to do cold methods where you don't bake crazy shit inside of it. I prefer to just glue like heavy washers to the bottom of it or something. Cooking metal just sounds dangerous. Other than unless it's foil. I'm okay with foil. That doesn't scare me. Alright. So now we're gonna get this end. I gotta stabilize it because once that's done, I gotta put the knot back on. And then I might actually put the cape on first and then put the knot on. I'll see. I'm not sure yet. So now just dip that in water. I got a little water thing. I dip it in there just like that. It has clay on the end of it. And I just kind of just shove it in there. Try not to get it in detail of the, because I got little grooves I cut into the rope to make it look more realistic. I don't want to get those covered. I'm just cleaning. I made a mess down here. I'm just trying to clean it up. Anyways, to dip down in the water, I'll put this over here. Where's a better spot for this? I probably should have moved these CPUs now I think about it. I got computer processors on my desk. I need to move these. This is mine right here. There we go. Problem solved. That gives me a little spot to work with. Unless, can I just tilt that down? Move this, keep it there. This here. Okay, you can see it there. Cool. So yeah, just get that wet. Try to chunk off a piece. And then find a spot to put it. Normally when you're attaching clay, it's usually wet to wet and you score it. At least that's what I've been told. And there's other ways you can do it, but you put scratches in it, and it makes it easier to fuse clay. Oh, there's a damn hair. And that's why tweezers are awesome. Another hair. Jesus. I got a dirty little palette here. Put this in there. Wipe. I'm trying to push down on the rope a little bit to try and like encourage it to fuse. And I can always sand it before I paint it, as long as I'm very careful. You can always sand it, but you gotta be tiny little piece of sandpaper or scratcher, like something like a hook. You gotta be very gentle. A hook would be, I wouldn't recommend a hook if you're a beginner, because you could yank on something on accident. And you'd end up pulling the whole model and ripping off whatever you're working on. I think a really gentle, tiny piece of sandpaper, just back and forth, would be the safest way to do it, without risking breaking anything. Alright, so what I'm going to do is, since I got that all covered, I don't have the inner side in between the collar, armor's collar, and the back of the rope. I don't have anything in there, it's just the front. But that would be really hard to get back in there. It would help if I could. I don't know if it's worth it. I think I could just paint that shut. Gosh, the earthquake is brutal. Okay. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna put water across the whole thing. This is to help encourage it to seal and fuse completely together. I'll probably lose a little bit of detail though. There is a downside to do it. Every time you do these mini repairs, it can encourage other parts that weren't cracked to crack. So like right here, that wasn't there before. That was recent because when I made the cape the first time, that probably happened during the drying process. But I'm okay with it. I can fill that with paint and it won't be there anymore. It's not wiggling around or anything. I think so. It's not loose. So now, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just going to have to just stick it on there, I guess. I don't know. I guess I could put, what I'll do is I'm going to get this wet. I'm going to get this whole backside wet. You never paint your model if you're gonna do stuff to it. Like if you know it needs repairs or you're gonna add something, don't paint it. That'll make it way harder to fix it. Like I'm trying to get this cape on here, but I'm struggling because I painted the back, so that makes things a lot harder to attach. I got a little spine, like the curvature of the spine, there's a gap there, and I'm filling that with clay because I don't need that anymore. It's going to get covered up. Oops, I just hit the camera. Just kind of wipe that away. There we go. I got clay all over my hands. Alright, now that that's done, I'm going to get it wet again, smooth it out. And I'm just going to try and just squish this on here. Actually, I haven't. We'll get it double wet. I'm going to get the cape wet too. I'm going to put some clay on there. Just a tiny little, I put a tiny little water-soaked bead of clay. I'm going to try and make this super thin. So move this out of the way. Try and get this in the frame there. So I'm going to try to use this as like a glue. Just get all the areas gooped up in a thin layer of fresh clay. I'm going to try, because it likes to stick. Here. So now, I'm going to attach it. Make sure this foils down. I had to be careful, I don't want to break my rope I just fixed. I had to be careful, because it feels like I could crack this right down the middle. There we go. I'm just going to take some water. I'm going to start at this corner right here. And I'm going to put more clay in between the gap here. And hopefully when this dries I won't have to worry about it anymore. I've made other models successfully and fully painted them, but that one I can't show. I don't feel comfortable showing that one. It's kind of personal. It's not happy, let's just say that. I don't feel comfortable showing it on my channel, if that makes sense. Like, because it comes off as like marketing, and I don't want to do that. For that particular piece, I don't want to do that. This one's different. This piece is a personal piece, but it's not. The subject matter is it's a video game character. It's gonna be a video game character at some point. So now that that's kind of fused on there, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to shit. I didn't mean to do that. This, when that happens, that usually means whatever tool you're using has a different moisture content. It's either drier or wetter, and whatever you're touching is the opposite. And it just peels right off. I need to clean it. It's fucking me up. The reason why I'm doing this is I want a gap there, because it's going to be filled with paint, and it's going to be dark paint, and it'll give it an illusion of like shadow and stuff, and it'll look really nice. Because it's a cape. It shouldn't be fused to the character. There should be a bit of a gap. At least I think it should be. I don't know. That just makes me feel it just looks better that way. I don't know. I gotta clean this again. I'm using the clay to clean it, so I'm just where's the spot? I'm just doing this. It's a lot faster to do it this way, I think. You could use a rag. I mean, that would work. Or you could wash it off, I guess. But if you wash it off, then you have to dry it, and you don't want it too wet. Alright, so that side's done. I'm gonna go over here. Almost done. Now we just have to fuse this side of the cape together and attach the knot that broke off. I probably have to make an extension to the rope. I don't think it's gonna fit. I think a piece broke off and I lost it. Just like before, we're gonna move my tool out of the way. Make a little repair tube. I think I showed that on camera. I don't remember if I did for that side, but it's the same thing. I'm doing the same thing I did for the other side for this side. I'm making a tube. I'm gonna get the whole thing wet. I'm just gonna grab it. Just kind of get it in there into the crack. Just like this. There we go. And then just kind of cut it off to the right size. Hold in place and cut off the excess. It's sticking to my finger. God damn. You fucking sticky bitch. There. Get in there. See, what's happening is I think the clay that's next to it, part of the cape, is really dry, and it's just sucking the water out of it, so now it's sticky, you fucking cunt. I'm a polymer clay kind of guy. This, god damn it. Now I gotta do it all over. You know what, I should have primed it is what I should have done. 1, 2, 3, get some of this water out of the brush. I'm just rubbing it on the desk. I'm going to prime it, that way that doesn't happen again. It just dried out. This shit dries so fast, it's not funny. You can't even, you can barely roll a tube of like this, like roll out a string. You can feel it drying as you roll it. That's how fast this dries. So its average state of being is goopy mud. Damn, it dried already? Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna use the brush to get it started. If there's a lot of water, you can just use some toilet paper to, or paper towel. Toilet paper, paper towel. And just kind of get, because you don't really want that on the bottom of the model. It can't be good for it, I don't think. You don't really want excess water where it don't belong. I don't think there's anything over here. Just gonna double check. Okay, there. Now that that's sealed up, I'm gonna take my spatula and I'm just gonna smooth it out. Smooth, 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 smooth. Smooth. I'm gonna just start indenting it to give it that gap I want. There we go. We got a gap there, and then we got a gap there. The gap is bigger on this side, but I think that's fine because this is prone to disaster. Like I'm just gonna take what I got. I'm not gonna gamble anymore with that. So I'm just gonna try and get this knot on here. So it looks like I don't need an extension. I just need to find where the resting point is. I had these little like things on here. I'm gonna remake that. This is just garbage now. So where was it resting? Right there. That looks about right. Let's see if we can find a different spot. Ooh, that's a good spot. Right there. We'll connect here. Okay. Ah, you dick. Ah, I gotta pick it back up. Oh my god, are you serious? I dropped my brush twice in a row. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is just put a bunch of water here. Almost said paint. Put a bunch of water here. Put a bunch of water on the rope. It's gonna fuck the detail up, but I don't really have a choice. Put a little bit of clay. I'm trying to hurry. Here. Squish it down. Like that. Take this. Like that. Just like that. Hopefully just kind of squish it. I'm just trying to squish it into the clay that's on the cape. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and fuse the rope to this thing. God damn it. Why is my hand so itchy? Gosh. It does not help when I'm on a time limit. The time limit being this drying out before I can fuse it. Okay. I think I got it on there. What I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to shove a piece of clay up underneath it. Pretty large piece of clay. I got this super soaked in water. Just gonna try and shove it up here. Same way as before, just more water. I think picking it up is the only option here. Shit. So, I don't recommend doing what I'm doing right now. This is really stupid, and if I drop this, this entire thing will break. This is very fragile clay. My plan is to compact it. If there's more clay underneath it, it'll help it fuse. I'm gonna try an extra piece. This is very, very stupid and risky what I'm doing. My fingers are starting to get tired. Like I said, this is very heavy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this down. I have to be careful because I just attached that cape, so that could have come off. Easily could have came off. Squishing that down. Whew! Alright. That's repaired. I did it. I don't know if that's going to work, because it might break again, it might crack. I used a lot of water, and there's not much else I can do. The water's kind of soaked in now, I just have to hope it doesn't crack. Like, once it's soaked in, you can't get it out. I put this earth clay back into the bucket. I ain't gotta go wash my hands. Just got earth clay all over me. Hopefully this is done so I can fucking paint it. I want to paint it so it doesn't fucking break. It's a lot stronger when you paint it. I don't know why. I fixed the eyes. On my DeviantArt, my Modtyrant DeviantArt, the eyes are so fucked up. I got really lazy, but I also didn't know what I was doing either. I learned a lot pretty quickly, actually. I'm just gonna move this over and hope nothing bad happens. Lay it on this. Yeah, don't need it. No, yeah, I guess we can still use this. I gotta get the earth clay off of it. So, I'm gonna wash these tools. Oh, I gotta move my keyboard out of the way. Let's move that back. And this next model is also a bust of a video game character as well. Just get to clean this clay off the table. I don't want to mix clays because this is a baking clay, and I don't know what's going to happen if I stick the other clay in my oven. I don't think anything's going to happen. It's just earth clay, but I don't know. Try it now, because this is like sanitary wipes. This will sanitary wipes will liquefy the polymer clay. Don't want to do that. It's also not a good chemical to have on your hands or anything really, unless you're just cleaning a table like this. I dropped my brush 3 times this stream. Let's just clean this. Alright, that's nice and clean. Trying to be efficient here. I don't want to use more than I don't have to. Oh, that's good. I mean, it's okay if a little like speck of clay gets in there. That probably wouldn't hurt none. Alright, that looks done. And then last, this one right here. And done. Alright, to make sure, I'm gonna just make sure this is still working. Yep. Alright. Where's the spot? Is that it? I would think it would be back more. No, it needs to be forward. I guess right there, I guess. So, this is mainly, the base is done, so... Ooh, I'm sorry. So I'm going to put the clothing around it, which is going to be a vest, but I also need the shoulders. That'll add more weight, because there will be no foil. I forgot to add the foil filler for the shoulders. The shoulders, the vest, ears, the hair, eyes. There will also be like a half cape thing going on over here on top of the shoulder. Sliced off. I don't think I can center it, unfortunately. It's just gonna be cut down the middle. Shoulder. Let me see how wide it is. Yeah, I could definitely get. So compared to the other one, it lines up. Even though this character is like 4.5 feet tall, and this lady over here in the game is like 7-8 feet tall. So this is a really short character, even though the bust sizes are roughly the same. So he's scaled up. I guess she's scaled down if you look at it that way. So I'm not going to do anything crazy. I don't think. It depends on how I get into this. It's been at 55 minutes. So at most I'll do an hour. I'm definitely going to need more clay than that. I got to build a shoulder. Let me pop this back out. Fucking shit. It's cutting the clay. Just push this back. My ruler, say that's enough for one shoulder. That's almost two, actually. I think right here. I think that's enough. We'll see. Also, I don't recommend doing this with your rulers. You're gonna fuck them up. But this is the best tool I got to cut this shit. I'm surprised this is not warped as much. It's pretty straight. Just gonna clean this clay off of it now. I'm using another piece of clay to clean off the ruler. I don't want that on there. I don't want to leave that on there. If you do cut with your ruler and you use it for other things like paper and stuff, make sure you clean it, because this will fuck up paper. Clay will. It will stain it like a grease stain on paper. So you're gonna have to clean this with soap if you ever use it for anything else. All right. I could probably just tear this in half. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. Shit. The polymer clay I'm using is, I believe, Extra Firm Sculpey 3. Ugh. Super Sculpey. Never mind, I'm wrong. It's Super Sculpey Firm. Never mind. Super Sculpey 3 sucks. So this is Super Sculpey. It's a little better. Is it a lot better? I don't know. I haven't used it a lot. I know Femo's pretty good, but it's more expensive. Well, I guess while I'm at it, I'll show you the earth clay I was using is this right here. The hair dry Crayola clay. Alright, so let's bring this back to the spot. So I think I'm just going to stick that, basically stick these here. I think that was too much, actually. Depends though, because I do have to smooth it to the front and the side. I don't know. Anyways, I still need this ruler. I don't like working with big chunks like this. It's just fucking, they're hard to manipulate. I like to work with small pieces. They're easier to smooth on. I gotta clean the ruler again. There we go. These are all cut up. I gotta clean the table too. Oops. It's okay. I do everything by eye anyways. I hate the flashing. That's what it feels like. Shavings. That's the word I'm looking for, shavings. Bam. Go. Alright, now clean up this stuff. I don't like polymer clay lingering anywhere. That stuff can melt certain materials, plastic materials, styrofoam, any kind of hard, some hard acrylics, I think, or some hard plastics that are like acrylic will melt. I mean, it takes a while. It's not like it's instant, but it's not good to leave this stuff around like that. Alright, so we're just gonna put this, I think we'll do it like this, just kinda. This stuff is pretty soft out of the package. Normally, I would condition the polymer clay. I mean, you're supposed to do that anyways, but this stuff is pretty easy to work with. Just straight out of the box. I've had other clays that were really crumbly. I had to either add oil to them or I had to condition them. Let's see, there. And again, I'm doing this all by eye. There is no measure. I don't do measurements unless it's like a Dungeons and Dragons like tile. Because that has to be 1 inch for each space. And if you're doing a tile that's 4 spaces, then it has to be exactly 2 inches by 2 inches. I mean, you know, ignoring like microscopic measurements. You don't like that's a bit too precise. I think like within for a 2x2 tile, it has to be within right here, or 0.5 millimeter is right here, so it has to be within a 0.12 millimeters. If you're doing a 2x2 inches, I'm not sure what that is in centimeters. 32. It looks like it's on here. So yeah, this side's centimeters, this side's inches. Okay. So that's 2.5 centimeters for an inch. Yeah, about 2.5 centimeters. So 2.5, so 5 centimeters for 2. So yeah, so it's 5 by 5 centimeters. If you want to use centimeters, but over here in America, it's if you're doing a 2x2 tile, it's 2x2 inches for D&D. With no more than a 0.1 millimeter gap, or looks like 32nd. It's actually less than that. It's actually, I don't even think it's on here. I want to say 64ths. A really small fraction. A tiny fucking fraction. Because the gap's too big, you'll see, like, the light will be bouncing off your table, and then it's gonna look terrible. You could probably get away with a bigger gap. It just depends on what you're doing, I guess. Let's see, let's get that one, this one, here. Just like that. I'm just smushing it on. I'm nothing crazy. Let's just take this and compare it. Yep. That's about right. I just gotta make it a little thinner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push really hard on both sides. Just like this. I don't want it too what's the word I'm looking for? His width is greater than the model over there, and I don't like that, so I have to fix it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these wedges. This is going to be for his vest. This is actually too thick. That is ridiculous. That's a thick vest. Need a little thinner than that. So I'm just thinning this out. It was thicker. It was about, I want to say, a little less thick than this starting out, and I'm just squishing it with my fingers. Kind of like that. And then I'm just going to stick it here, because this is going to be his clothing. Just like that. And just do the same thing with another piece. Just like that. Ah, my thumb. It's right there in the wrist area. Just gonna fit this into place. I'm gonna take my little thing I told you I cut with, and we're just gonna cut it out, eyeball it. So it tears off, because it tears off easy, and then just fill in and push it into the gap. Just like that. There we go. He kind of looks like a space lizard man now, because this is like all chunky and like robotic looking. Like space armor. I'm gonna smooth it. It's gonna be a vest. I've said that like 5,000 times already. I can't help it. I'm. That's just how I am when I'm recording. I repeat myself too much. Anyways, squishing it down. Squish, squish, squish. This ain't really a tutorial. I just like to explain things. Ah. There we go. Damn, that was almost perfect size. Actually, technically it is. I just cut off. It's not wide enough. It's tall enough, just not wide enough. I can take that. Put it there. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. So, I cut off the top, and I moved it over here. Actually, I could just do a reenactment. There we go. Put it there. I just cut out the top. And I took this. I'm attaching it here, just like that. And I'm going to cut off this tip right here. And then I can take. I don't have to be like perfectly fused, because we don't have any detail on the character yet. Just kind of get this into place. There. Now, one of my favorite parts to do is smoothing things, and that's what I'm going to do now. Kind of smooth out these gaps, all these spots that where the clay is not connected. It's like right here, for example. I'm just kind of squishing. I'm actually using my computer to see what I'm doing. I can't actually see in real life because this is at the wrong angle. So I'm actually using the camera. It's not too bad. But I wanted to show some of this on, like, directly. The only way for me to do that is to look at the computer screen. I'm pressing pretty firm. I wouldn't say hard, but here we go. Smooth it. Some more. I'm gonna use my eyeballs this time. Ah, my neck. There we go. And one thing I noticed with clay, or any art project in particular, is you don't want to hyper focus on something. I did not need to smooth that so perfectly. I gotta go back in and I gotta make cuts. I gotta add stuff. The fine, like you shouldn't be doing a final smoothing when you're not even done with the detail. And I have a habit of trying to make everything look clean at all stages, and that's a waste of time. You just get it fixed. Don't make it look pretty. Just get it fixed, and then go from there. The problem is I don't like dirty models. It distracts me, so it's a double whammy. A lot of time can be saved if you don't fret over small stuff. Get that smooth back. I know when you bake this, it does puff up a little bit, not much, but enough to fuse it, so it becomes one solid piece. So it's close enough that I don't need to like attach it. So it's so firmly packed, it will fuse to itself. I also, just to make sure it didn't rattle, the foil inside is covered in liquid glue. Liquid, that sounds stupid. Liquid clay, the black stuff I showed earlier. And then that'll help the shell stick to the foil. Because if it ever pops off from your filler material, and you'll hear it rattling around in there, and that will not be good. That would be very distracting. So I'm jumping ahead. I want to put in like grooves for the neck, like kind of like here, where you can see the shadow, but I gotta wait. I gotta get this fused first. Alright. Whoa, that's tearing. Push this down. There we go. Kind of has like a pseudo shoulder look. Almost there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down on this, on these corners, using my fingers. And this will give him his curved shoulder look. A more natural looking shoulder. And I do need a reference. I want this to be similar to the drawing. This is clearly a much more realistic interpretation of the character. But I do have a drawing of the character as well. Want the spine. I'm trying to make the spine curve. His neck is bulging out a little weird. Just gonna squish that down. Make the neck muscles I want this to be, actually I think this might help. So I'm taking the wooden thing and I'm going to roll it, but I'm also going to press while rolling back and forth. This will help make like a curve, and then I can stick my finger inside the curve and hopefully add the detail that I want. It's a bit of a problem because I just saw some of the foil poking through, but it's not the end of the world because I can just paint over it. No, you could always sand it down and fill it. You can use epoxy if your filler material is betrayed you and when you gotta cut it out or do something crazy drastic, you can always fill it, cut it out and fill it. Right now I'm pushing, some of the foil is popping out, so I'm pushing it in with my fingernail, and I'm just going to smooth it out with my, smooth back over it with my hand. And he's gained a little bit more weight. That's a good thing. Just a little, not a lot. It definitely doesn't feel as cheap as it did. It's still pretty, still feels pretty gross, but whatever. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the bottom. I want to get that out of the way now, so I don't have to do it later and mess up my details. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like pry this open a little bit and just squish it in there. I didn't smooth it out. There we go. Here. And then actually I can put a little bit over here too. Just like that. And let's see. Here. Gonna pry that open. And just kinda stick it in there. I want the base to be completely smooth. Pry that open, stick this in there. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to pick this up. That's the wrong tool. Just going to squish it in, smooth it, squish it in, smooth it. since I'm not doing any details, it's okay if you squeeze it on accident at this step, because you can just fix it anyways. Cool thing is it doesn't dry out like earth clay, so it sticks to itself. It has all the downsides of earth clay are gone, but the only upside you're missing is the weight. It's not as heavy. Huh?
Do you have any toilet paper?
Yeah, I have some toilet paper down here.
Can I get it?
Sure, do you want to give it to you?
Yeah.
I didn't touch it. Yep. Yeah, I bet. Ah. So now I'm gonna use the table and just kind of. I want to make sure it's perfectly flat. I apologize for the loudness. So we got a bit of, there's some gappage here. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on this because this kind of looks, when you have these little dimples, it kind of makes it look like actual like stone or something like that. It kind of gives it a little character. But at the same time, it's going to be less weight and it's not going to be perfectly flat. So I'm not sure. I might leave it. That does look really cool. Kind of want to leave it. I don't think I'll leave it. That's smooth enough. So we got his shoulders. Alright, so his shoulders are done. Got his clothes. He's got his face. I'm gonna do the hair second to last. He's gonna have a mohawk. It's gonna be like a mohawk mullet kind of thing. Second to last, facial details, so like defining the detailed facial features and the eyes and the brow, the cheeks, the mouth, and any of those crazy details. Those are last. Mostly because you don't need to hold the model. I could just do this every now and then. I could do that. His nose looks about the right size. It seems right. It's like the side of his face. It's a bit too blocky, but that's probably because he doesn't have a mouth. If I gave him lips, it probably won't look as bad. Yeah, it doesn't look as bad when there's something there. It makes this snout look smaller because the lips divide it. So yeah, that should be fine. So we're gonna get rid of that because I don't want to do that yet. So I think that's the right thickness. I gotta go look at my reference because I'm not sure that's what I need to do. I have an ideal, but I want it to be happy. I don't want to just reinvent it again and not be happy with it. So, just going to my DeviantArt Modtyrant page. I got some 3D stuff on there. Let me see, it's in here somewhere. Featured. It's not my. Oh, I got multiple pages now. 3, 2, 1. Alright, so featured's all my video game stuff. I don't know why D&D's in there. I need to move that. Writing teasers, traditional art. There we go. Alright, so I think I'll get the ear on there. The shirt is more baggy. This ain't baggy enough. This is too form-fitting. He's gonna have a small backpack. There's gonna be a strap. His hair is gonna fucking go all the way down to his back. So his eyes are not quite right. He has softer features. They're more feminine. There we go, that looks a little better. So now, hopefully I got that on camera because I got a web browser up. So strap, backpack, hair. Strap, backpack, hair. Vest is pretty accurate already. It's not. It doesn't cut off or droop down or anything. This needs to be baggy on this side. Both sides, really. Let's see, shoulder right here. Alright, so I know what I want to put on it now. The problem is this doesn't look like it's proper. Don't look lined up. I gotta find where the armpits are, because that's pretty big. Pretty big deal. Oops. Looks like I found the armpits. That might change how this is gonna look. They're more even than I thought, so that's good. I need to get both the back side though. I gotta smooth this out. I gotta divide the clay in the back. There's too much on one side. Okay. There we go. Alright, so this is the baggy shirt. There's only one way I can show that, is I'm going to have to cut out some of this. So you'll be able to see part of his arm here, because this is a baggy shirt. This side has a longer sleeve. You will not be able to see his arm on this side. And I almost fucked up. It's his left arm that has a shorter side. The reason for this is he doesn't need it over there. He can't feel. I mean, he can, but not really. And I'm speaking fictionally, it's not a real character. It's a fictional character. But fictional characters have personalities and they have injuries. Not all of them, but some of them do. Like this character. I'm just eyeballing this, whatever feels right. It's also not symmetrical, so I get to cheat. Like, I don't have to mirror it perfectly because it's asymmetrical. And I am using the, I guess, the clay scalpel, because this is a spatula, because it's solid and thick, like almost all the way around. The tip is tapered a bit, and this is more like a knife. I just call it a scalpel. And I want the thickness here to be roughly similar to the collar. Oh, get off the clay, or I mean the foil. Just get rid of my finger along the edge here. Yeah, it's getting pretty messy doing all that cutting. I think I'm going to use my spatula. Just kind of force it into shape here. My mouse is in the way. I'm just kind of making the shirt thicker by pushing in his arm here. This is flashing. What I said earlier was shaving. This is actually flashing. I gotta fold it over and just smooth it out, because that bothers the hell out of me. Yeah, eventually, at some point, I'll be able to make a video game. Well, what I mean by that, I mean, I'm going to make a video game soon, but not with these characters. I gotta get way better at making games before I attempt. These characters deserve better. I can't just fucking make a shitty game with these characters. Has to be very, very special. Just kind of smooth that out. Oh no, wait! I probably should have left that. This is like the armpit. You know what I should do is what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wiggle this in here like this. Because it'll give it kind of like a ruffled up look. There we go. That's a start. It's not perfect, but I do everything in steps, stages. So easy to wrap my head around things. Just trying to thicken this up. I don't want it too thick because then that's ridiculous. That'd be a really heavy shirt. I want to make it fairly smooth as well. And want kind of, I want a gap to make it look like it's an actual shirt and not just fused to his arm. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not. I'll do the same thing with this side. Just going to push it in. Smooth that out a little bit. That way, I know that's where the armpit is, pretty much. I'm gonna do the same for the back. And I can go in and make it look better. There you go. So now I got that done. Alright, so he's definitely gonna have a strap all the way across. He's gonna have like a book bag thing. He's gonna have like a book bag thing. Pouch. Like a really thin tube like book bag, like a medieval duffel bag. That's gonna be there. His hair is going to be over it because it's so long. He has very long hair. So the next step would be to fuse the shirt to his actual body. Oh shit. I can't see under his nose. He has a big nose. Shit. There we go, that kinda works. Oops. Just like sliced something off on accident. I don't know what that was. This is a lot less stressful than the earth clay model. This is much easier to work on. And the weight is actually a lot better than I thought. It's still gonna feel kind of cheap though. I'm definitely gonna increase the base. The hair, I might not have to because he's gonna have a lot of hair. I mean, that's not gonna have any filler or the backpack. So the weight might actually be fine when everything is said and done. It definitely weighs more than my mouse, so that's good. Weighs about, this is a half empty soda can. It weighs about that heavy. Making sure the bottom's flat. I don't want this moving around and teetering. That would fuck it up. That would fuck it up pretty bad. Turn this upside down again. Make sure shirt is nice and good. clean that up. I'm gonna have to move this keyboard off my lap. That's not making this easy. I had that there for a while. And ow, you dick sucker. Just trying to smooth it out, make it look nice. Making sure my light bulb don't explode. I got it brighter for some reason. I don't know how. So now I can take a little break. Now I can set it down. I can do the back. If you ever if you're doing this part that I'm doing right now, you're trying to make a distinction between the character and what they're wearing, and maybe you take off too much, or you dig up underneath and it looks weird, you can just add more clay to fix it. Another thing I like to do is to condition a piece of clay, like extra condition it until it's really soft. And get rid of all this extra stuff. Just kind of dab it, because it gets in the way and it makes it hard to see sometimes. Just kind of dab, get it off. Yeah, shit, did I show that on screen? I guess I didn't. So like this, just a piece of soft clay that's extra conditioned. You just dab it, get stuff off. Like that. Clean this up, this looks pretty brutal. The tricky part with this character is I'm not sure what kind of scale pattern I want. I want something that makes him look more socialized, not like a beast. Like if I used really big, thick crocodile scales or dragon scales, he's gonna look more tougher. I want something more softer. I want a soft feature. But I don't want like just straight up skin either. So it needs to be some sort of scale. Skin is too human. trying to push it closer to the neck. I don't want it too big of a gap. Just enough to look like he's wearing a shirt. I also don't want his shit to look weird. He's got like a weird bulge on his neck over here. What's up with that? I just noticed that. That's a bit of a problem. He's got like a bulge. How can I fix that? Well, I like the curve. So I guess I could just... I'll just create a curve on this side of his body. That. I'll use it to my advantage. Happy little accident. There you go. Take some new clay and just smooth over it. It's way easier. Oh, my neck, my spine, everything hurts. I'm using this to push the foil in and compact it. And I'm taking more clay to cover it up. Because every time I try to smooth it over with the pre-existing clay, it just makes the foil pop back out again, which is really annoying. I think I did pretty good though with the foil. I'm surprised how well. I never foil sculpted before. And it turned out pretty good. I think I'm gonna leave this here at this stage. I'm gonna put this clay. This should, in theory, is that enough for his hair? I don't think that's enough for his hair. Shit, I'm gonna need more clay. Yeah. Oh well, because I still have to do the strap and shit. I definitely gonna need a little bit more. That's good though. That'll make it heavier. I'm happy about that. I mean, it's more expensive because the main reason you use the filler is to save money. If I made this completely out of clay, I would have to use that whole brick, maybe more. So two busts per brick of clay is probably a good starting point. If they're this size, anyways. Before I go, because it's only 10 minutes left anyways, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to show what I did for the filler, because I didn't get that on camera. So, I just kind of eyeball it. I roll it out to about, I don't know, 12 inches, something like that, 20 inches, you know, however much feels right to you. You just tear the whole thing off and crumble it like that, and then you just kind of shape it like you would clay. So there we go. So you got kind of like, here's the snout, here's the back of the head, here's his neck. The problem is this isn't enough. There needs to be more filler. This is too soft as well. So when we go to put the clay on, this is going to squish, and it's not going to help us. So what we have to do is we got to squish this down until it looks retarded. So it has generally the same shape, but it don't look like what we wanted anymore. So now we got to do it again. We got to do basically layers. 20 inches of foil. You just put it over top. So you just put this in the middle, put it on top. there's no really technique. I kind of just crumple it from the middle until it holds. Kind of get the shape you want. You only use your fingers. I guess you could use maybe like some other tools. I don't know of any off the top of my head that you would use for this step. I only use my fingers and my hands. Cool thing is, we're not going to make it super tight. Prepare for size. You know, you always want to, I don't measure anything, I just kind of compare it. So this looks pretty good. It could be taller. The head size is fine. I'm okay with the head size. So, gonna make it taller. So it's just like before, gonna get a bunch of foil. Now this time, I'm only gonna wrap it around the neck. So just wrapped it around the neck. I smacked it on the ground a little bit. This is probably going to be a cat person, probably. Probably what I'm going to do. A cat paladin. I probably made this one too tight, but this is how you would make the filler, just like this. And then you would just start wrapping clay around it until the whole thing's covered. I do the additional step. I put this on here, and I just brush it on with a brush. I don't have to be perfect because it's gonna be hard to get it on flat surfaces because most of this is rigid and raised everywhere. Like this is like a giant mountain. There's like mountains all over this, so you're only going to be able to get it on the ridges. It's going to be hard to get it on the flat surfaces. It doesn't like to stick because it's like slippery. So you just have to kind of, I just do it just because it feels like it would help. I think it's going to help. You don't have to do it. You could probably skip that step. I don't know. But yeah, that's it for the stream. I just wanted to show this because I didn't get it on camera. Anyways, bye everybody.